terms of collaborations, we partner with other sister universities within the country, specifically here for the University of Johannesburg, University of Zululand, and KwaZulu-Natal. So we go around the country looking for smallholder farmers. We've got quite a high number of smallholder farmers, and we found that they struggle to deal with challenges that come from climate change. And we thought that since this is our core of our investigations in our unit, then we would partner with them and conduct our investigations together with them. So just to bring more context, South Africa has a large farmer base. Mainly it can be classified into commercial and smallholder farming. So if you think commercial farmers, they usually are classified according to turnover per annum or size of land that they own. Smallholders would be people who have a turnover less than 50,000 rands per year, or people who own less than 5 hectares of land. So it depends who's also classifying them, but those are the two categories. Now the Department of Agriculture supports all farmers in the country, or tries as much as they can considering the numbers. They provide a support base for smallholders specifically to try and encourage them to scale up and become commercial farmers, and only can cover about 10% of them. So with our research, we start off by engaging with the government, trying to get them on board, get their partnership commitment. Once we have their commitment, we then go on and find the smallholders. We find people who already are engaged with either the government itself or industry, because we primarily would like to work with someone who has some drive towards farming, so that we don't start from scratch and by the time we're done, they don't just give up altogether. So this picture is showing some of the farmers we recruited in the project. This is on its second year. We started last year, where we started potato cultivation with 5 localities, farming communities. These usually belong into cooperatives of between 20 and 50 people, individuals. And some of them will be farming crops like maize or beans under dryland production. So you can imagine the challenges that they would face, considering that they also resource deficient. So once we've conducted the trials, we then celebrate whatever achievement they get by conducting farmers' days. This helps us to sort of create awareness within the communities of agricultural activities that are happening and recruit more farmers, and also encourage those who've already participated in the program. If you've done any potato production, you may be aware it's quite intensive if you're not mechanized. If you're not using any equipment, it's a lot of work. So we try and run these as part of sort of like a recruitment and also an encouragement program. Within the Farmers' Days itself, we invite experts that come over and talk to them, because most of them have low levels of education. So if you even try and include technologies as basic as just smartphones, maybe a huge jump for them. So we try and get experts to come in and sort of break down the message to as basic as possible for an upcoming farmer to absorb and apply some practices themselves. They need skills such as how to keep financial records, besides just how to cultivate the crop itself, and also how to market the produce once it's there. Because we find that if you don't provide such support, you achieve these nice tonnages where they have a yield, but they don't know what to do with it. So at the end of the Farmers' Days, we then give them certificates of excellence for their hard work. We have found that some of them tend to run away. We lose a couple of individuals somewhere along the line because of the labor, because it's mainly just manual production. Now the Farmers' Days we ran in 2021 was such a huge success that we started being approached by more people this year. So in 2021 we started, this was just one province in KwaZulu-Natal with the 5 localities. Then we were approached by a number of people saying they'd like to learn the potato production business. And for us, remember, as a university, it's just running research. So just to give some background, we go in looking at water conservation practices that we can apply, as simple as just applying mulch on the ground so that we conserve some of the moisture and they don't need a lot of irrigation water. And it works successfully to such an extent that it's raised some of them from 20 tons per hectare to 40 tons per hectare. And they can find the grass lying around in their fields. We also invite international partners, because this is part of a larger project where we engage with other universities such as Wageningen and Bingen University of Applied Sciences. So we found that once we have some people coming over, we can attract the youth much easier. I don't know if you noticed from our pictures, most of our farmers are actually quite mature. I found that specifically once we started having international visitors coming over, we find the youth now being attracted to our sites and wanting to involve themselves in the production itself. Now we've expanded this over to Northwest Province. The university is actually named after the province itself, and we are now expanding to just beyond just research, actually using these trials as part of a teaching component, undergraduate teaching, where we run our practicals together with the communities and then invite our students to come and do assessments as some of the assessments that we do in their modules. We're looking forward to the future. This is one of the things we did just recently. Last week we ran a harvest day in one of the trials in Northwest. Here we recruited 25 farmers within the area, and we're so